Right, this is a crazy one. Carole McDonnell, she celebrated her 74th birthday this week, far from the TV production company that she built into a true crime powerhouse, and far from the clutches of the FBI, which really wants to find her. She's on the FBI most wanted list. They want to bring her to justice, they say. I mean, FBI most wanted list. It's a big deal. McDonnell was the CEO of Bellum Entertainment. If you're watching the show, you've probably seen her work. Bellum produced some long-running hits, some hits like I Married a Murderer, Forensic Justice, and It Takes a Killer. More than 2,000 episodes of murder and mystery shows, which should have kept the company more than solvent and should have kept McDonnell as rich as she pretended to be. But sometime in the 20-teens, Bellum hit the skids hard. Employees' paychecks bounced if they weren't sent out at all, and McDonnell allegedly leaned to lie. She started lying, a lie that she'd peddled for decades, that she was the heir to the McDonnell Douglas aircraft fortune. That's what she was telling the banks. And authorities say she bilked a few banks out of $30 million, claiming that she was due to inherit $80 million. And at some point then, when it all started to crumble down because she had nothing to do with McDonnell Douglas, she then fled the country. The feds think she's in Dubai right now, and we know she's on the most wanted list, charged with bank fraud and also identity theft. I mean, this woman is a real gem. I mean, my next guest was hired by Bellum for a 2-day shoot in 2017, and when he didn't get paid for months, he bought the domain name MaryCaroleMcDonnell.com, and then he told his story to the world, and then he ended up actually getting his money. So, Aaron Cadieux, we appreciate you joining us tonight. I gotta say, I was watching your YouTube video earlier, and every time Aaron would show this woman, McDonnell, you'd play like the piggy noise.
Yeah, the sound of a pig.
The sound of the pig.
And thank you for having me, by the way.
Yeah, which normally would be kind of mean, but in relation to what she did and how many people she allegedly ripped off, it was actually very, very funny. Walk me through, Aaron, what happened with you.
So I was hired in the spring of 2017 to be the director of photography on an episode of their show called Mysteries of the Unexplained. They were doing an episode based in Massachusetts on a subject called the Bridgewater Triangle, which is something I had done a documentary on back in 2013. And I think that's how they had found me. So they hired me to be the DP on this 2-day shoot.
And when did you realize that this woman was starting to rip people off?
Well, it took a while because when they initially hired me, I did about $2,500 worth of work, and they paid me $500 up front, which kind of put me at ease. And there was nothing unusual about the shoot. The producer that I was working with was also a freelancer. But as the summer progressed, I wasn't able to collect the remaining $2,000 on the balance. And by the end of the summer, I had sent several emails to Bellum asking about my money, and it was always, oh, the check's in the mail, or sorry for the delay, and they just kept pushing me off. So by the fall, I started to do some research on the company and found out that there were dozens, if not hundreds, of former employees and vendors like myself who had been stiffed on their money as well. And eventually, I think it was CBS Los Angeles ran an expose on Bellum and all of the employees that hadn't been paid. And at that point, I knew that there was not a very good chance that I was going to get my money. I mean, I was in a long line of people that were owed money, and there were people that were owed a lot more money than what I was owed. So eventually I had to kind of think outside the box and figure out how to get paid myself.
Did you ever actually meet her?
No, never met her in person. I only had 1 or 2 email exchanges directly with her, and that wasn't until after I launched that website to get my money.
So you basically created a website with her name because you were so pissed off that you didn't get your money.
Oh, I was super pissed, and I knew that she was worried about her reputation at the time because Bellum had requested CBS Los Angeles not run their story. And CBS, I think, had given Bellum a chance to pay their employees and basically said, if you don't pay your employees, we're going to run this story. And so I knew she was concerned about her reputation. And so it just occurred to me, like, I wonder if MaryCaroleMcDonnell.com is available as a domain. And went on to a domain broker and found that it was available, bought it for cheap dollars. And then I built a website on Wix And I sent them the spec website with an email saying, look, if you guys don't pay me my money and pay everybody else that's owed money by Friday at 5 p.m., this website's going to go live. And it was like 4:55 p.m. on that Friday where I got my money wired to me by Bellum. But then I was kind of like, yeah, I got my money, but there's all these hundreds of other people that are owed money and they're never going to get paid. I mean, I had taken Bellum to small claims court here in Massachusetts, and of course, they ruled in my favor, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get paid. And so I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going live with the website anyway. And so I did. And it was like that Monday, I had gotten an email from her attorney. It was a guy named Barry Rothman, who has since passed away. But it was a very poorly written email, rife with spelling mistakes and grammatical errors, and it looked like it was written by a sixth grader. And at the time, I didn't know what else Mary Carole McDonnell was into. And in retrospect, I wish I had left the website up, but I had gotten legal counsel myself, and my attorney said, you got your money. This isn't going to be worth the battle, because they threatened to sue me in court in California over the website. So I just relinquished the domain back to the internet. But I think the reason why she was so concerned about her reputation at the time was because that was when her and Barry Rothman were in the process of defrauding the Bank of California for a $30 million, whatever, the $15 million loan. I don't remember how much it was for, but I think she didn't want any bad press at the time because she was in the process of ripping off a bank.
Makes sense. She was probably trying to stay under the radar. I mean, listen, I would hate to get on your bad side, Aaron. I mean, that's intense.
It's just it's a matter of, it's not, I mean, $2,000 in the grand scheme of life is not the end of the world, but it's just the principle of the thing. And then when I saw, I ended up being part of this Facebook group, a private Facebook group for all the people that have been taken advantage of by her. And it just made me angry. I think there were people that, she had opened up a satellite studio in New Orleans at one point, and people uprooted their lives and moved to New Orleans to work down there, and then she closed up shop within like a couple weeks of them moving down there. And so there were people that were owed tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars that never got paid. I was just $2,000, but it was just the principle of the thing.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, the whole thing is just terrible. I've interviewed other people too, who were owed money by her, and she just seems obviously like a scammer. Just real quick, I mean, what do you think she's up to based on what you know? You think she's just like hiding in Dubai with all this money?
I was actually, well, because I had done the YouTube video, I was kind of out there a little bit, and somebody actually contacted me a few years ago, a woman who knew Mary Carole McDonnell in Dubai and knew where she was in Dubai. And according to her, Mary Carole was trying to do the same kind of things over in Dubai. And this woman and her husband had been victims of fraud at the hands of Mary Carole McDonnell. It's just astonishing that somebody who did that here in the United States and got away with it and walked away with, some people say, $40 million when it was all said and done. You think they'd lay low once they got to Dubai, but there she was again trying the same stuff, and now she's on the FBI's most wanted list.
Man, what a crazy story. Well, maybe we'll get to cover it when they bring her back here
Hopefully.
in cuffs. Aaron, Cadieux, really appreciate you coming on. Thanks so much.
Oh, Brian, thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, Happy New Year, sir. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.